I'm back at the canal here in Mae Sot. I was here the other day to check out what the water levels were like because of all the heavy rain we've been having. And last night and the day before and the day before, every day since, there's been more and more rain. So I thought I'd come back out and see if the water levels had gone up or gone down or what had happened. And clearly the water levels have gone up. I'm actually on my way to the Moei River because I heard that the immigration office and that whole area had been flooded badly, and the immigration office may not even be open. And I have to go back there in the next few days to get my next visa extension. So I'm going to drive down to the river, see what's going on there, and get a sense of if and when the immigration office might reopen. But along the way I passed the canal. Yeah, when I was here last time, the water was not up to those drainage pipes over there. I think the water level was down below those pipes, so it's actually gone up quite a bit higher. And the water flow through the channel here is much higher than it was before. When I was here last time, I think the water had almost reached the road on the other side of this dam. So with the increase in the water level, I wonder if it had gone all the way up to the level of the road now. Let's go take a look. Hello. Yeah, there it is down there. Hasn't quite reached the road, but it's getting close. There's the water flow here now. Pretty incredible. So take a look at the road. And I remember I was on the other side of the road and there was a marker there, and the water had risen to marker 18, or just below 18. I don't know what 18 means, 18 what, but I'm gonna go see if it's gone higher than 18 now. And look how close it is to the roadway, how close it is to the bridge. And I came down here the other day as well, down these steps, and I think I was standing on steps that are now underwater down there. Look how fast the water is flowing. Cross the road and see what's going on the other side. Yeah, I've honestly never seen rain like this before in my life. Not that the rain has been so heavy, but it's just been so constant. Huh. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Over there you can see the marker is registering just about 20, 19 and a half maybe, so it's only gone up from 18 up to like 19 and a half. Yet it feels to me, I don't know, it just feels like it's much higher, like it's running a lot faster than it was last time I was here. I was expecting the increase in height to be much greater than that. I was on YouTube the other day tracking down flooding videos because we don't seem to be alone with this here in this part of Thailand. There were floods in Germany and other places in Europe. Wasn't there a big typhoon in China? Hit Shanghai. Tons of flooding there. Yeah, there's just something going on right now with the weather. Seems to be kind of worldwide flooding. Though luckily here, I mean, this system is containing it here at this point anyway. The water levels are high, but we're not actually getting flooded here, which is nice. That is crazy to see this much water flowing through here. And it was raining all morning. It rained all last night and this morning. But it just tapered off a few minutes ago, which is why I'm outside right now and hoping the rain will stay away long enough for my trip down to the Moei River. It's almost mesmerizing watching that flow of water. It's not something you see here very often. Okay, well, let's get back to my scooter and head to the Moei River. That's right at the Friendship Bridge crossing over to Myanmar. And it hasn't been the friendliest of places lately because it has been a bit fortified with some razor wire and a kind of a military presence just to keep people from Myanmar from crossing the border illegally. And now, if there's flooding going on, it'll probably be even a little less less friendly place to go, but I want to go check it out. Look at that. A technical note for anyone keeping score: I'm shooting this on the GoPro Hero 9, but I have it inside its full waterproof cage, which means I can't use the wireless microphone or an external microphone. There's no way to plug it in, so I'm recording this with the built-in mic on the GoPro itself. I'm near the Friendship Bridge and the Moei River now. Kind of down that way a little bit. There's the bridge here. And there's definitely something different going on. I have no idea whether it's connected with the flooding, but all these cars and trucks parked here. And I've never seen this before. Certainly I haven't seen it for a long time, to have all these vehicles here. So I don't know why. I don't know what all these people are doing. But I passed over this river or canal here. And if this is any indication, there's definitely some flooding going on. Look at that. This whole area is flooded. I don't even know where the edges of the normal river are supposed to be. You know, there's the fence there, and then I guess there's a platform there you can walk out and in normal times look over the river, but that whole thing is completely underwater. wonder about all these businesses and homes alongside this river. Yeah, my heart goes out to them because I have a little bit of personal experience with this. I got caught in some heavy flooding in the Philippines one time due to a storm surge from a typhoon. And I learned a lot about flooding, in particular about the damage it can do. Water is unbelievably destructive, and even a small amount of it can completely destroy a house or a business, everything inside. Yeah, if your house gets flooded in any way, it's yeah, it's a disaster, really. There's a lot of water here. I saw a barrier on the road blocking vehicles from going any farther than this, but I'm hoping that if I go on foot, I can go a little bit closer to the river, the Moei River, than this, and maybe head down to the Rim Moei Market. This is the river on the other side, and it's quite flooded over here as well. And as you can see, the rain still hasn't let up. It just comes and goes. Anyway, let's head in this direction towards the Friendship Bridge and see if anything's going on. Again, I'm puzzled by all these cars. What are they all doing here? I've come down here quite often to renew my visa at the immigration office, and I've never seen any vehicles parked here before. This whole area is just wide open pavement. Oh. Yeah, just spotted a little roadway over here. You can see how high the water has come up. It looks like we have a couple of guys down there on some kind of a rescue boat with some life jackets. Yeah, and flooding, you always see some interesting, crazy sights. You see boats where you normally would never see a boat. So you see boats going up a road, basically. Just saw from their t-shirt that these guys are fire and rescue Mae Sot volunteers. So I guess they're out patrolling the waterways, looking for anyone that might be in trouble, checking in on all the homes down there that are flooded. I guess, yeah, people could be trapped inside their homes, you just don't know. It's definitely an inconvenient time for this to happen for foreigners that might be in Mae Sot, because today is July 29th, and that is the day that everyone's visas expire. If you got the COVID-19 60-day extension visa, if you're using that system, today is the day when all those visas expire and they have to be renewed. So this whole week has been challenging for people because you've got the pandemic, you've got all the holidays this week, so immigration would have been closed several days this week because of the public holidays. And now, the final day when immigration is supposed to be open, I believe it's closed because the offices got flooded. So it's like a perfect storm of problems for anyone who needs to extend their visa today. I anticipated this. I knew there was a bunch of holidays. So I went into the office about 2 weeks ago to get a jump on it. and do all the paperwork and submit my application, you know, 2 or 3 weeks early, because I knew there'd be a crunch around this time. I almost made plans to go off on a little trip and then come back here today on the last day to get my visa extended. That's the most efficient thing to do, but I decided that wasn't wise, you know, to risk it, and I'm very glad I got it done early. Though, yeah, if their office is flooded, it's not flooded now. I'm right outside the immigration office, and I don't see any water anywhere right now. I saw some pictures of this area, I think that were taken yesterday. And, oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Yes, I definitely spoke too soon. Down there, this is the grounds of immigration. That's actually their exercise room there. Sort of a fitness, health, and exercise room. And you can see it's that lower level is flooded anyway. That building right there is where I would normally go to extend my visa. It's a little bit higher, I think, but I'm not sure if it's flooded. We'll have to go around here to the gate, get a different view. Huh. Well, the lower areas are flooded for sure, but it looks like this building is just high enough to escape the worst of it right now. But it's possible that yesterday or the day before the water level was higher and have flooded that office. But as you can see, the grounds down there are flooded. Yeah, I wonder if they're open or not. I think I see movement inside, but I'm not sure. There's nothing better than going by a government office on a day when you know you don't have to go in. You can just sort of ignore it. It's like, I'm already done. But I do have to come back in here in 2 or 3 days to pick up my visa extension. So I hope it's up and running by then. Whoa. Yeah. Look at that. There's the, that's the main immigration building there. So luckily it's on a high piece of ground. It's down here. The parking area and all the other administrative buildings, yeah, they've been flooded. And I'm guessing that it was much higher than this before. Anyway, just since I'm here, and there do seem to be some people here to renew their visas or do other things. Yeah, I'm curious if the immigration office is actually open or not. Glance through the door here. Yeah. Huh. Look at that. Hard-working people at immigration. Not even a flood can shut them down. They're open and they seem to be operational. There's people sitting at computers, and I see people in there waiting. So that's good news for anyone who needed to come here today. So let's go a bit further. I want to see how high the river is right now. It looks like the Moei River dogs have been kicked out of their normal spot. They all are taking shelter underneath the bridge. And wow, very good reason for that. This area is flooded. I guess it's hard to get the sense of the flooding if you're not used to it, but this area is actually a road. What we're looking at is not a river, this is the road. And there's the edge, the border post there, and on the other side, that is the actual river. But normally you would never be able to see even the river from here. You wouldn't be able to see the water. The levels would be much lower. I guess this must be quite a low point. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Huh. And there's the Moei Market building there, and you can see the flooded down there as well. I tried to get down to the river, the shore of the river in that direction, but there's no way to get there. The whole street is flooded, and you could potentially wade through the flood if you were serious about getting there, but there were also a whole bunch of soldiers standing there, so I don't think they would have allowed me to pass. But I'm going to head in this direction, kind of go around the Moei Market and see if I can work my way down to the river this way. The funny thing is, it occurs to me that this flood makes the work of the immigration patrol, the border patrol police, easier, because nobody's getting across the river right now. The water levels are just way too high, so nobody's going to be attempting the crossing for a while. Almost on the other side of the market, and as you can see, there's no chance of getting near the river here. Or in a way, this is the river now, so I'm actually standing at the shore of the river. It's just a lot bigger than it used to be. And I just remembered that there's actually quite a large community of sort of stateless people, I believe, living on the shore of the river. So right ahead of me there is the bank, and then it drops down to some ground, and there were like squatter settlements all along the river there. I don't know how many people live there, but a fair number. But all of their homes would be underwater right now, and probably destroyed. So I think those people would be the hardest hit with this situation. Anyway, still continuing along, seeing if there's a way to get a view. I kind of want to see the river fully in view with Myanmar on the other side, and just sort of get a sense of how high the water has come up. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a point like that. The road I'm following comes out over here. And when I tried to come down this way before, I got stopped by soldiers. You're not allowed to continue beyond this point. Yeah, there's a soldier over there now. A little bit of an opening in the view here. Yeah, it looks like the people that were living right down beside the river, they've relocated up here. These buildings right in front of me, those are normally sort of gray market or black market shops selling cigarettes and liquor duty-free or at a good price. But they all been closed for a long time. But I guess they're being used as shelters now by all the people that got displaced by the flood. And I think this is as close as I'm going to be able to get. That guy out there, he built his own paddle boat out of a set of styrofoam coolers. You can see some of the community down in there that has been completely flooded. So all these people have been forced out of their homes. And for the time being, this is where they have to live and just adjust. And that large building there with the curved metal roof, that's the main Rim Moei Market, and it's clearly been flooded as well. And even when that place has been largely closed for quite a long time. Not closed, but there's really no customers. And I went in there not long ago and it was jammed with stores filled with goods. So could be a lot of destruction inside there right now. Depends how well the owners prepared for this. I found an opening in the buildings on that street that at least allowed me to come over here for another view of what's going on. And I wonder if these people are covered by any kind of government aid program or even international aid. As I said, my understanding is that they are kind of stateless. They are from Myanmar, but they don't have any legal status in Thailand. So they can move further into Thailand, but they can't really go back to Myanmar either, and they just sort of exist in a no man's land down by the river. So technically they wouldn't really exist from a government program point of view, or any kind of an aid program. And based on my limited experience with a flood like this that disrupts everything, the one thing you really need is water. It's such an irony because you're surrounded by water, but the one thing you really need is drinking and cooking and bathing water. I wonder if that's a need here, or whether they actually have access to a good water supply. I don't really know. I remember my experience with the flooding in the Philippines, that water was kind of like gold for a while. You spent all of your time thinking about water and where to get water. And it was such an irony because the rain continued for such a long time and the flooding continued for such a long time. And there was water everywhere, but it wasn't water that you could drink. The more I think about it, the more similarities there are between what I'm seeing here and my experience in the Philippines, because the people that were hardest hit by the storm surge and the typhoon in the Philippines were the people that were living in these informal settlements built on stilts that were built out over the water. And these communities had existed for decades, and their legal status was sort of a gray area. Technically they had no right to be where they were living, but no one else had a use for that area, so by default they could build their homes out over the water. But of course, that is by far the most vulnerable place to be when a typhoon comes through, and that all those communities were completely destroyed. And then once the worst of it was over and the typhoon had gone away and the flooding had receded, all these people just started rebuilding on exactly the same place. They had to dig down through the debris, uncover where their house used to be, and just start building a new home right there. And they would live there until the next storm comes through. And these people in no man's land here down by the river, kind of in the same situation, because they were existing on that land and nobody forced them off of it. Because no one else had a use for that land. And it's not a great place to live, but it's where they could survive. And now this flooding destroyed their homes, and they're just waiting until the flooding goes down, and then they'll go right back to where they were and rebuild their houses in exactly the same spot. And who knows when the next flood will come through, next year or 10 years from now, but it'll definitely happen again. Yeah, they're the most vulnerable people to this sort of thing. I don't think there's much chance of me getting any closer to the river than I already have, but I came down here to a spot and I drove down here, this road, not long ago, and even on that day a portion of this road was flooded, but as you can see it's completely flooded now. That would be I don't know, I would say 2, 3, maybe 4 feet deep ahead of me, so there's no way to get any closer. This whole lower section would be completely flooded out. And it's probably the same for the road heading in this direction. Even to get down here I had to go through a flooded area that I almost didn't make it through. It was hard to judge the depth, and thought I might stall the scooter or something like that. But I'm gonna have to go back through it to get out of here. It's my only way out. So let's see if we can make it through without stalling. This is the road here. As I said, I made it through coming here, so that should mean I should be able to make it back through. I'm going to angle the GoPro down a little bit to catch the front of the scooter. See if I can get a little bit of a wake going, or no, wake would be behind me, right? This would be like a bow wave. There we are. No problem. So I was a little bit nervous there. And I think that is it for my small adventure this morning.